Hi, I'm Jay Monte with True Fan Boxing. I'm here with Sean Sullivan of Boxing Digest. Sean, this weekend, Cintron-Williams, great fight for 3 rounds, turned out to be a bust. I never saw a guy take a dive forward outside the ring.
I wouldn't really call it a great fight. The first couple rounds were feeling out rounds, and then just as the fight was starting to get exciting, that's when it ended so abruptly.
Well, I never saw anybody go forward outside the ring. Just historically, what do you remember about people falling out of the rings? What fights?
It's happened a couple times. It's not uncommon. Recently, Hasim Rahman was knocked out of the ring by Oleg Muskayev in the 90s. Rahman himself, knocked Zuri Lawrence out of the ring. I think it was 2007 in Pennsylvania. Right. Bernard Hopkins was knocked out of the ring by a referee, Mills Lane. Oh, okay. Kind of pushed him out of the way in the middle of a clinch against Robert Allen. And I would say, I'm giving a lot of examples here, but the most famous one was in the 20s with Jack Dempsey getting knocked out of the ring by Louis-Ferpo.
Interesting. I just wondered, they went to a technical decision, and in other states it's not possible.
No,
I think Mosley should have fought in California and done the same thing and would have maybe won that fight against Mayweather. But that's another topic. But where do these guys go from here? Should they rematch?
Well, I'll tell you what. Because of the California rules, it went that way in a victory for Williams. But any other state, it would have been a no contest because it didn't go 4 full rounds.
Okay.
And a lot of people were upset about that, which, I'm one of them. I think it should have been a no contest. How can you have a fight, a victory in a fight like that when nothing happened for 2.5 rounds, finally gets exciting? And just as when the action's getting heated up, then the guy falls out of the ring. I don't see that.
Well, to me, the biggest loser are the fans. I mean, that was a good fight to watch. Hopefully, if it lasted.
Right, it would have been a pretty good fight.
And they should rematch, but maybe the fans should get a rain check on that or something.
Williams promoter Goosen, they're saying, "Why do we need to fight Cintron again?"
Oh, jeez.
They don't really see the economic sense of it, and
right.
Although of course
maybe this is what's wrong with boxing. Years ago, these guys fought each other rapidly, and 2 weeks later they would be in the ring.
Right, this
doesn't
is
happen
different
anymore.
Generation.
Another fight that happened over the weekend was Antonio Margarito boxing Roberto Garcia. What happened in that fight?
Margarito won a 10-round decision, and he got a workmanlike performance. Just something to get back in the ring. From the last time was January of last year.
How much of a future does Margarito have right now in the sport?
He's back. So he's just got to get a few fights under his belt and build himself back up, and eventually he'll get another title shot. Maybe sooner than we think.
Okay, interesting. This weekend, Amir Kahn is traveling to New York to face local kid Paulie Malignaggi, and I go around every place that tells me, do you really think that Malignaggi is going to beat Kahn? And they're asking me that. I think he has a shot if he utilizes movement. What's your key on the fight?
I think so too. I really do. He's just got a distinctive style. He knows how to box. And Amir Kahn is a guy, yes, he's got speed and he's got power, but he has flaws, and he's shown them already. Right. One flaw in particular, his chin, is not going to be checked by Malignaggi by any means. Right. Although Malignaggi himself said he was going to try for the knockout. That's just his pre-fight boasting. But I think he's going to outbox him. The
reason why it might not happen, but the reason why I like Malignaggi to have a shot is he has experience, and he doesn't, with his new trainer now, Sharif, he doesn't move around as much. He stays more in a box, and he's more of a counterpuncher. I just feel that's a very big effort. Although I spoke to Freddie Roach today, and he said Kahn, no doubt, will knock him out in 4 rounds. So there are a lot of variables in this fight. I mean,
has Malignaggi ever been knocked out?
No, I don't see it happening because in boxing, movement is the key, and that keeps you away from being knocked out.
Right, I do, like you said, it's the experience. I really do think he's going to cause problems.
And Kahn has never fought in the U.S. It's really a showcase for him right now.
Right.
This is a showcase fight. For Malignaggi, it's more of a crosswords fight. If he wins, he gets bigger and better, fights. If he loses, but even if he makes a good stand while losing, he still gets a pretty good, future ahead of him for the next 2. But if he gets blasted, what kind of future does he have? So
if Kahn gets blasted?
No, if Malignaggi gets blasted, which is a lot of people are saying it. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people believe this Kahn So some people say it's a myth. Some people say no, it's for real. This guy's for real.
Sure, it's possible. I just don't see that happening. But putting the fight aside for a second, I think the event is even bigger than the fight, the matchup.
Right.
You have a guy that's so popular in England coming over here to Madison Square Garden to fight a local brash New Yorker.
Right.
It's reminiscent of when Kevin Kelly fought Nassim Hamed in the 90s.
Absolutely.
It's just like that.
Hamed, even though he was down twice, won impressively, and that really built. People believed him in.
Right. I do think that was a fight of two power punchers. Even though this fight is a contrasting style power puncher versus boxer, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I think Malignaggi, given his comeback and his new style with Sharif Yunan, I really think it's going to be a terrific fight.
Okay, that's this weekend's lineup. Anything else happening in boxing? I heard that Kelly Pavlik is moving to super middleweight or light heavyweight.
Right. Yeah. He had a rematch clause in his contract against Sergio Martinez. He opted not to take it because he can't really make middleweight anymore. So he's going to move up to either 168 or 175 pounds. They're looking all the way up to Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson has a fight coming up in August with Jean Pascal. They're looking for the victor of that fight.
Okay.
That would be a big fight. But either way, I mean, the super middleweights, there's a ton of guys over there in the Showtime tournament. There's Lucien Boutte, who is not in the Showtime tournament, who would be a viable fighter for Pavlik to face. So he's got a lot of options. Even
interesting.
Forget about middleweight.
Interesting. Well, Sean, nice talking to you again for this week. For Sean Sullivan of Boxing Digest, I'm Jay Monte, True Fan Boxing. See you in the square. Take care.